software around that enables us to share best practice from the companies we work with. And we get to work with some beautiful companies today. We didn't always work with those companies. We work with tiny companies you've never heard of at the start who took a chance on us. One of our first customers was a pub, but they were willing to pay us money a month, so we did some work for a pub. It wasn't exactly what we were trying to do, but we enabled them to work a little bit smarter and be a little bit happier as a result, and it was a good start. So we bring learning to, and we take learning from our customers. We then share it across a platform, and that enables people to learn and be better at what they do. Zachary did mention my clicker, by the way, is dead, so that's all right. I'll come back to here every once in a while. These are my boys. They were a handful. I always think, oh, it's a handful having twins, until you meet people like Julie, who has quads, and put us all to shame. And it's like, okay, I can never complain about being busy or even play up to that. And this is what I come home to most nights and weekends. So let me talk about these two things, technology and tenacity. So what are they? So I guess technology is the application of any sort of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. I wanted to come to that definition because we tend to look at technology as pieces of software, kit we install, but its truest definition is anything that can enable us to be better, be smarter, work smarter, that is based on some sort of scientific knowledge, whether it be a business case, piece of research, or it is in fact a tool or a piece of software. And the big emphasis is practical purposes. There's a lot of software and technology we use that I think has no practical value. It looks great, it's shiny, people talk about it, but it doesn't actually return results. I've talked to several of you over the last couple of days about that stuff. And tenacity is persistence, it's determination, it's strength of purpose, and it's enormously powerful. I think the two of them together are the key to business success and the key to talent acquisition success and driving change. And I'll expand a little bit on why each of those works. How many here have read Burson's Deloitte Human Capital Trends Report 2016? Okay, those of you who haven't, do read it. I know when you download it and you open it and you see it's 160 pages long, you'll feel this, oh, come here, I'm not going to read 160 pages, right? There's about 80 pages of summary notes you don't have to read, and the rest is joyous. And at least read the first 15 pages of introductory stuff. Josh has been writing this for 5 years before he was part of Deloitte, and he has been examining trends by surveying companies and asking them what's hot in your topic, what's hot for you, what are you interested in, etc. And in his summary of this, he said, this is the first time in 5 years stuff actually changed in HR. All right? I mean, none of you felt it. I felt the last year stuff's actually happening. Right? There were conversations happening 5 years ago about seats at the table and all this kind of usual rhetoric, right? People are actually driving company, organizational change from the HR department for one of the first times I've ever seen on scale around the world, right? And we are beginning to genuinely justify a seat at the table, not just any old seat. We can have the driving seat sometimes in how we're driving businesses. And you have CEOs talking about how people are important, and it actually seems to mean something. When a CEO says that these days, she seems to actually then act like she speaks in what she does. But in this report, there are a bunch of themes that are happening in HR at the moment that are impacting organizations. One at the core of this is driving more than anything else, and that's this new organization, and how I think 98% of organizations say that this is the most important thing for them in 2016, changing the way the whole business looks and feels. Not just part of it, or not just HR, or not just driving our technology. It's going, we just fundamentally don't work as a business anymore because the business model that has existed for 40 years is now broken. There are things around the fringes of that make a lot of sense. Learning becoming important again in different ways, and how you need to basically build your workforce through learning, but also you need to build leaders. People analytics are really important. Having good data to drive decisions. Culture and engagement and the relationship between the two of those is obviously still super important. This new workplace driven by digital HR, several people mentioned it yesterday, consumer app focused driving how we deliver HR services to employees, and how people expect the services that we provide them to look and feel like getting an Uber cab, ordering something on Amazon. The expectation of a user is so influenced by the consumer apps that we need to deliver enterprise apps. Enterprise apps used to be the top of the chain, and we talked about enterprise apps being the pinnacle, consumer being the poor cousin. It's very much the different way around now. Consumer apps drive everything. Enterprise apps try and catch up. How design thinking is important. Gig economy. I saw a great reference on gig economy. Has existed for 50 years. We call it something else. We call it staffing. We call it contracting. We call it temping. We call it lots of things. Now it's just got a fancy name. But it's important. But at the heart of it, how organizations are changing is important. One of the core things I loved about this summary, you take nothing else than take this, and Julie mentioned this exact thing yesterday. And Burson talks about how HR's role, the role of a CHRO, isn't just to head of personnel or head of HR anymore. It's evolved to be what he calls the Chief Employee Experience Officer. We in Social Talent hired our first head of HR recently, and we started with this premise. Because I have obviously a lot of exposure to what HR departments do in loads of different sizes of businesses by talking to great people. And I have a vision of what I don't want it to be. And as a leader of a small growing business, we've got 60, 70 people, we're still tiny, we're trying to get there. I wanted it from day one that our head of people is all about this employee experience. Happy people, empowered people, engaged people are productive for the organization. Someone needs to own that. In fact, a department needs to exist, a whole layer needs to own that. And it's the only part of our business that genuinely has right to influence everything and everybody. Because it should. It should be in every department. It should be up to the C-level, down to the very bottom, across, wide. They should have the right to influence everything because everything is influenced by people. And it's the employee experience that is beginning to be important. But taking this, the technology part of this equation, I've seen some really interesting innovations in technology, practical. And going back to that word practical and technology innovations. I met the guys in Deutsche Bahn. Deutsche Bahn are one of our customers. Does everyone here know Deutsche Bahn? Ever got a train in Germany? You have? Are you familiar with Deutsche Bahn? Would you consider Deutsche Bahn to be an innovative, leading-edge technology company? Not really, right? They don't really have that feel. But the thing is, Deutsche Bahn want to be that leading, innovative company. And they need to try and get that out to the market. They understand it's a hard journey, and it's going to take a long time. So they also recognize that the cold face they've got their recruiting team who are going to market and trying to bring in talent who wouldn't think DB is a home for them. But in order to become that new organization, they need to attract that type of talent to eventually change. So they say, well, how do we start looking like we're innovative? And they're doing a bunch of things. This is something they showed about a year ago. They're using virtual reality headsets to simulate the environment of working in a tunnel or working on trains. And they go to career fairs and they have this and they allow people to put the headset on to demonstrate what it would be like to work on a line, to work as a mechanic, whatever it might be. You don't need it to influence somebody, to be a mechanic. They probably know what they're doing anyway. But DB do it because they want to be the company at the careers fairs with a virtual reality headset. 2 weeks ago in Paris at HR Tech World, they demonstrated a hologram tool that they gave out this lovely little package that you then use your mobile phone with an app to create a hologram effect. Beautiful. Do you need that to get a job in DB? No. But what they're trying to do is say constantly, we try things. We're innovative. We have new ways of doing things. We're using technology that nobody else is using. Because over time, people start seeing them then as being more innovative. It has a real core part of their strategy. I was talking to the EMEA recruiting team from Facebook. They're based in Dublin, my hometown. But we were at an event in Amsterdam last month, and the guys shared some great information about what they do in Facebook to drive a really good experience. When you arrive for an interview in Facebook, you're given an iPad. You sit down and you wait 20 minutes for your person to show who's going to interview you. And on the iPad, it's preloaded with data just for you. It has bios of the people you're about to meet, videos of them. It has an overview of the department, what they do. You get to watch a video of somebody go, hey, this is what we do in the whatever team or the whatever it might be. This is how Facebook works. Here's our comp and benefits information. So that when you walk into your interview, you are prepped. You are ready to go. And it achieves two things. One, you think, Facebook are pretty fucking awesome. This is really good. They're helping me. But second of all, most importantly for them, you can focus on trying to convey your skills and not trying to figure out what they're looking for, who's there. Because they genuinely want you to do the best interview you can, because you not doing your interview wastes their fucking time. Does that make sense? Because they're selfish. They're going, this is really productive. If you get in there and you focus on that, you're going to do a wonderful job. And the very focused on building innovative things like that. Simple things. This is something that Adam and AMS showed at an event earlier this year that they were trying to convey to some of their customers. I know there's loads of other businesses here, I like this. They talked about why doesn't the career site why isn't it designed for personas? And those of you who have experience in marketing will understand that in marketing terms, you build a website that then is personalized for each type of person who might come to it, a persona, and then it derives it for you. It's like your Amazon page. It remembers your cookies and it has a selection of we recommend these things for you. Okay? Make sense? So why doesn't the career site have a way for you to know, for example, a persona of a working parent who's returning from maternity leave, wants to go back to work, struggles to find a job share partner. Amazing if a career site could help you do that. What most people do is they say, well, here's the jobs available for career share or for part-time. And there are very few of those in organizations. And people like Aaron, the persona, and it could be Aaron, it could be Eric, they are underutilized in our market because they are only capable of working 20 hours a week for whatever childcare reasons or personal reasons. And they are very highly skilled often, but there are no jobs for them because nobody wants to do a 20-hour week role. So the proposition that Adam and his team had is, why can't you just tell the system I'm a flexi worker, and then look at all the jobs, submit your profile, and let the system find somebody else who has similar skills, and they can pair you to apply for full-time jobs. Does that make sense? Why doesn't the system, which has thousands of applications coming through to it, put me with my skills together with somebody else with similar skills, apply us both for a 40-hour week job, and we both turn up for an interview? Because fundamentally, why not have both of us do it? Wouldn't that be great? Then every job becomes a job share potential, and everyone's skills can be harnessed through smart basic technology. You may have read about this on Monday. Facebook didn't announce, TechCrunch wrote about it, that they are implementing a jobs tab as a solution for businesses, so that businesses will be able to install or load up a jobs tab, post jobs on their business page, and have it use Facebook's algorithm to reach different members and have it in front of them. And the potential of this is huge. There are loads of companies like Workfor who do this as a service, and this will probably kill all those businesses because Facebook just do it first. But this is solving a challenge that lots of organizations have. I met with a good friend of mine, Nilesh, who runs the recruit team at L'Oreal week before last, and 1/3 of their workforce are the non-LinkedIn population. Okay, they are the concession agents who work in stores and sell makeup and all the stuff that L'Oreal sells. They're on the network of 1.7 billion people, not the network of 400 million people. And there isn't really a great solution for the 1.7 billion. And the simple things like this, where you can personalize, run ads, all this wonderful stuff. It sounds like a small thing, but this could be a huge revenue stream for Facebook, but also open up properly for the first time a really big network that most of us currently find closed to us. We use, in our organization, we've begun using project management tools and agile methodologies around not just our software development, we use it in our software dev team, we use it in parts of our team like our content team, where we're using sprints, we're using scrum walls, and we're basically using tools like Atlassian and Basecamp to allow non-tech teams organize themselves and deliver. And this is a realization that, first of all, people love ownership of tasks that get completed in a short period and they get recognition for it. When you work in a department and you just work month to month to month, and over the year you get stuff done, but it's hard to really put your finger on it. That's one way of working. Most organizations work like that. We saw it in our software dev team, so we implemented it in a few other teams, whereby every 2 weeks the team delivers something. They go into a sprint knowing this is what we intend to achieve in 2 weeks. We're going to divide up the tasks, and at the end of it, we're going to be able to go, this is what we delivered, and stand over and be proud. And their motivation, their intrinsic motivation goes way up. And the workload goes way up as well. Every 2 weeks, I get a quick feedback loop, not from my technology is great. We love it, we talk about it, and you can meet people. But I actually find that this is more of a way, this piece called tenacity, our strength of purpose. And purpose is an amazing thing. This book isn't necessarily about purpose. It was recommended by a good friend of mine, Glenn Cathy, who was working in K-Force in the US at the time, had been previously in Randstad Sourceright. And this is an amazing book. Every one of you should read. It's fantastic. It talks about exponential organizations. And it's Sunny Ishmael's research on the fastest growing organizations in the world in the last 10 years. What do they have in common? It's a really passionate analysis and description of what they seem to have done. And scaling is about scale. It's about growth, right? Growing a sales team, growing a business, doesn't really matter. It's about scale. And he talks about that in these exponential organizations, they don't have what you might call a traditional strategy or vision. Instead, they use this concept called a massive transformative purpose, or an MTP. And the idea of this is that you basically have this big thing that the organization is trying to achieve. Okay, this transformative purpose that drives the whole organization. And you see this in the really great organizations. They have this MTP, whether they call it that or not is irrelevant. And if you haven't seen the talk or read the book, Simon Sinek did a TED talk a few years ago on this Start With Why principle based in his book. And he nails the summary of this, and how that most organizations start with what, work to how, and maybe sometimes get to why. And he talks about how that fails us. People talk about, what do you do? We're a bank, let's say. Okay, how do you do that? Well, we deliver specialist financial services to this kind of person. Why? To increase shareholder value. Nobody cares about that. Nobody gives a crap about that, right? But this is how most organizations do. They sell from what to why, to their employees, to their customers, to the market. And it applies to those of you, I know a lot of you work for providers and have a sales or account management role as well. We try to apply this in our business to go, if you sell what, if I told you what social talent do, how we do it, and why we do it, it's not as interesting. Why we do it is we want people to work smarter and live happier. That's why we exist as an organization. How do we do it? We do it by scaling and embedding best practice within organizations. And what the hell do we do? It's a piece of software. I'll tell you about it later on. But hopefully you're interested on the why, and you'll figure it out. I tell you, when we sell software, you're like, everyone sells software. I don't really care. Another person selling software. What doesn't really interest people? People are motivated by why. Organizations that sell from why out. And Sinek used the example of Apple. Apple are about doing things differently, challenging the status quo. That's their why as an organization. Whereas you contrast it against Dell. Dell keep coming to the market, or used to come to the market and say, we sell computers. So Apple accidentally sell computers as well, but that's not their reason for being. Their reason for being is to challenge the status quo. As you remember the 1984 ad, when they basically they smashed and the Olympians and all this kind of stuff with Berlin kind of drumming and evoking emotions. It's because what appeals to your neocortex, your thinking brain, your logical brain? Why appeals to your limbic brain, right? And the limbic brain is often called the reptilian brain. The reference brain appeals to your heart rather than your head. And here's my reference. This is why Trump won the election. I've been having this conversation for a few days, and I was asked weeks ago, could Trump win? Somebody was asking as a rhetorical question that everyone would say no to. I said, of course he can win. I think he will win. Because Hillary Clinton, so what? Her entire campaign was based on what? Okay? She did not at any point get anyone emotional. Did she? You don't think of Hillary Clinton and think, oh, she gets people so riled up, either annoyed and angry or passionate. It was flat, it was logical, brilliantly logical. I think she wins the logical argument to be the President of the United States. But people do not make decisions based on their neocortex, their logical brain. They base it on this. Why did you vote for Donald Trump? I felt it was the right choice. That word feel is what people talk about. Why did you go with that provider? They felt like the right one. Very few people make a decision based on logic. People go, why did you take that job? Well, you know what? I did a spreadsheet analysis. I did 2 columns. I weighed them up together, and I counted it, and says there, and this is the real vision statement of Cisco, they're there to shape the future of the internet by creating unprecedented value and opportunity for our customers, employees, investors, and ecosystem partners. Who's excited right now? Who just felt a little bit of, ooh, I want to work for that? Well, don't worry, this looks like every other company's mission statement. And he proposed, what if they said this was their transformative purpose? To connect everyone, everything, everywhere, all the time. It's clear. It's more transformative. It is actually what they do. But it would more likely empower people and excite people to do what they need to do in the business. This is a really smart guy I had never heard of before the summer. Who's heard of Fred Kaufman? I've seen him talk. Google him or look at him on YouTube. He is Jeff Weiner, who's the CEO of LinkedIn. He's his personal advisor. He's on the board of LinkedIn. He's Argentinian. He has so many PhDs and everything else. It's kind of embarrassing. I feel so inadequate looking at him and hearing him. But he's brilliant. He's soft-spoken and he's powerful. And he talks about, those of you who are in sales, he particularly talks about the challenge of motivating salespeople. Should you get the team bonuses, personal bonuses, what are the things? He spent 25 years trying to figure out motivation. And he comes down to this. He says, your job is not what you do, but the goal you pursue. I'll say it again. Your job is not what you do, but the goal you pursue. Point being, he's saying your job is not what, your goal is, your job is why. Okay? And we sell what as an industry. That's what we try and put out to the world. People say, what do you do? In definition, what do you do? No one actually cares what you do. They care what you do. That's what you care about. Why do you choose to be in HR? Why do you choose to be in RPO? Why do you choose to do this job? It's actually much more interesting. And this is all about finding a direction. And there's a guy called Aaron Hurst who wrote a good book on this called The Purpose Economy. And it's good because he defines it quite well. He talks about we're all purpose maximizers. At heart, we're all seeking to find that why. And finding your why is not about the destination. It isn't that we've got there. In fact, no one ever wants to reach it. They enjoy the journey of getting to their why. And as soon as you start coming close to your why, you reframe it and make it bigger and further away. The journey is wonderful. It's why we love movies like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. We love journeys. Hero journey epics that never get resolved. You actually hate it if you resolve. It's why programs like Breaking Bad and Lost, you want to go, what happens? What's the big goal? We're driven by this stuff. It's a verb, not a noun. And only in two movies that might give you some context to this. Have anyone seen The Intern? Right? I actually liked this movie. It's quite sweet. Right? It's a schmaltzy movie. I watched it on a plane. I don't know whether it's the air, but sometimes I find myself almost crying when I watch movies like this sometimes. Does anyone get that? I don't know why, but I do. It must be the air, right? Basically, long story short, this is a movie about purpose. His purpose is her purpose. He is a retiree whose wife has recently deceased. He's kind of lost, early 70s, doesn't know what to do. Anne Hathaway is a CEO. He's under pressure to sell her business, her baby. And the long of the story is, and I won't really spoil it by saying this, he finds purpose by coming to work and feeling he's needed in a team. She finds purpose by realizing that her customers wouldn't get the same experience without her at the helm. Long story short. Better description of this is this one. Who's seen this movie? The Brits in the room have probably seen this. Do you remember Eddie the Eagle Edwards? Remember the Calgary Games? It's 94, right? Early 90s? I can't remember what it was. 88 Calgary Games. I was a kid, right? Watching this live on TV, this madman who was basically doing the, what do you call it, the ski slope thing he did?
Ski jump.
The big ski jump, right? Anyway, the movie is about his story. It's actually a really nice movie again. And it tells the story about this kid who had this unbelievable purpose to be an Olympian. There was no rational reason to be an Olympian. He wasn't doing it for the money. His dad kept telling him you'll make no money as an Olympian. He didn't care. He just wanted to be an Olympian. And some people just have these blind desires. And they're summarized in that book in 3 levels. I'm nearly done, Zachary, I promise you, right? 3 levels, and let me talk you through them. And this is the framework that actually we can use. People are driven by either personal, social, societal purpose, or a combination of 2 or 3 of those. Personal purpose, that's what Eddie Eagle Edwards has. Blind desire to be an Olympian. It's why some people go, I just want to run 5K. I'm going to do a triathlon. I'm going to basically get fit. I'm going to lose 10 stone. I'm going to get a master's. I'm going to learn French. Okay? I'm going to learn how to code. I'm going to do whatever. There's no logical reason. I'll give you an example. How many of you here play musical instruments? Okay. Hey, how much did you earn from that?
Nothing.
Why the hell did you do Social and societal. Let me clarify the third first. Societal is about, I want to give back to the world. I want to save elephants in Africa. I want to save poor kids. I want to save people with this or whatever. I want to give back to veterans. I want to do whatever. It's this kind of, it's beyond me. It has a societal purpose. It drives a lot of people. A lot of CSO initiatives around that. We promote our CSO initiatives, knowing that there's people out there who will work for us if they think we're a good company and we help and we give back. It drives a lot of people. Not everybody, a lot of people. The second, the middle one, that's what De Niro got. This feeling of being needed. It was, I come to work and my team, my company performs better because of me. I'm not so concerned with what the company does, not so concerned with what my colleagues do, but I make the whole better. I'm needed in the team. That's a really big driver of a lot of people. That's why I turn up for work, because not because the CEO needs me, what she does is not relevant to me, it's these people, my team. They're really important to me, and I need to be there for them because me not turning up will let them down. It drives a lot of people. But the really good storytelling around employer branding and around trying to attract talent, they tell stories that appeal to personal, social, and societal. Because they appeal to the heart, the part of the brain that people actually make decisions with, as we learned yesterday morning, and as we learned back in June. That's how people win. The organizations that start with why, they start with purpose. They have that tenacity to follow through and go, I don't care if you disagree with this. We're going to do it. One of our sales team during the week, when we were talking about our values of working smarter and being happier, he goes, I love it, it's great. I can't sell being happier to people. They don't really pay money for that. Can we change it? And we were like, no, because that's why we exist. You can't just go change it because it doesn't fit the marketplace. Tough shit, that's why we exist. If somebody doesn't care for that value, they shouldn't really do business with us, right? Or we find a way for them to turn that into value for them, which is fine. But it's important to us, so we're not going to ever change it. Organizations that have that tenacity to go, this is what I believe and I'm sticking to it. And that's why people like Trump, you have to admire the tenacity to say, I'm going to make this change, whether you agree with him or not. He was clear about changing things and kept going and created the noise and created emotion around it, as did the Brexit movement and as will other movements over the next year in politics around the world. That's just the way of the world. But we can use that to be smart about that stuff. But what it means is, fundamentally, we need new models of organization, and most importantly, new models of leadership that aren't about, and again, this was meant to be a talk about data, and the problem with data is wonderful for the neocortex. It's fantastic, it's facts, it's figures, it's charts, and they help, but you cannot lead with that. You cannot lead with, we are the best company because we employ 100,000 people, because we've got the best attrition rate in the industry. Nobody cares. You have to drive an emotion. Driving an emotion inspires people in your business, it inspires people to come to want to be in your business, it inspires your team to be innovative, to do lots of these things. It isn't necessarily